Now, when I did this question the first time, I didn't spot the half AB sine theta way of doing this. I could have split that parallelogram into two triangles and worked out the area of the triangle and doubled it. Instead, I wanted to find the distance between the two perpendicular lines, the 14.7 line. I wanted to find this gap between the two lines. The reason being is that 14.7 times by the gap between the parallel lines would also be equal to the area. So I know 9.3, I know it was 74 degrees because remember the two angles in the side of a parallelogram have to add up to 180 degrees, so that's 74. I mark my angles. The side I want to find is x, so I'm going to put the opposite side, opposite to the angle, hypotenuse, opposite the right angle. So I've got an O and an H, which means I'm going to use a sine. Okay, so sine of theta is equal to the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. Just filling in what I know theta, I know the hypotenuse. So I should be able to come up with the gap between the top and the bottom of this parallelogram. Alright, so x is going to be equal to 9.3 times by sine 74. So to work out the area of the parallelogram, I'm going to multiply 14.7 by the value of x. Now if you didn't do it this way, that's completely fine. If you did half times by 9.3 times by 14.7 times by the sine of 106 and then doubled your answer, that would have been equally as good. Okay, so I'm just reminding myself about the area of a parallelogram. It's really sort of a rectangle, isn't it, that's been adjusted. Okay. I could take that triangle I've drawn and stick it onto the other side and make a rectangle, couldn't I? So 14.7 times by 9.3 sine 74, and I have to give the answer to 3 significant figures. Okay, so I think the answer is going to be 131 centimetres squared. Yeah, I should have put centimetres squared next to 131. Right, so now we've got to find the length of the diagonal from E to G, and if we think about that, well, in actual fact, this looks like an application of the cosine rule. So if I draw what I've been given, okay, I've got a side length, an angle in between another side length I've been given. This is classic cosine rule. Okay, so I'm going to remind myself what the rule is. The cosine rule is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine capital A. And that capital A is the angle, and the little a, the lowercase a, will be opposite its angle. So this is the capital A, and this will be little a. So here we go. A squared equals 9.3 squared. It doesn't matter which one's B, which one's C. 14.7 squared, take away 2 times by 9.3 times by 14.7 times by cosine of 106. And be careful not to load too much into your calculator all in one go. I'll do the addition bits first and subtraction bits second. I don't think it's wise. Calculators do not understand big maths. Okay, so I've got the first part of the answer. Now I'm going to take away from that the second part. So the length squared is 377 and some change. I'm going to write down that for the examiner, and therefore if I square root that answer, I should find the length of A. Okay, So I think the answer is 19.4, and I've explained my method. So, yes, it looks like, okay, so it looks like they clearly wanted us to use half AB sine C, although the method I use is equally acceptable. And looks like I got the right answers, and they're all M marks and A marks, so you must show your method, please.